Okay, hello, welcome back. I'm actually going to just be doing the start of BioShock and explaining kind of my idea for a new BioShock game. Just, this is just like what I would personally want when and if they make a new BioShock game. Before I do that, I'm going to do a quick, just kind of update on things going on with me. This is just very general, just with my output and whatnot. I'm going to be next day or two going to do the weekly Sunday school lesson. We're going to be dealing with the woman at the Christ meeting up with the woman at the well and Nicodemus, and that's where we are. So something to look forward to for everyone. And I thought I'd throw this out there for people. I do basically video games and philosophy. And so if you want me to do any particular philosophical idea or concept, yeah, go ahead and let me know in the comments and I will put it up there. And it should be all fun for everyone. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But yeah, I'll try to match it with a video game and put it up there. Just quick word of warning on the video game or on the philosophy things. And this is something teachers generally don't tell you, although they should. Is that the philosophies that people put out, or that when people teach, anything, and this is especially true of philosophy, they can't help but have their own philosophical views come out in it. So I will teach a philosophy, but it will be my view, my opinion on these philosophies, and I always try to make sure that people know what my views are, but sometimes they don't. Regardless, yep, let's get into BioShock. Yay! So, this is my idea. There's going to be not really spoilers, but I will be mentioning characters from the other games. To start out with, I will let people know that my least favorite BioShock, I think I've mentioned this before, is BioShock Infinite. That's to do a little bit with the storyline, a lot to do with the lack of choices in it, and a lot to do with the general gameplay. I just, didn't care for it when I compared it to the other BioShocks. That's just down to me, but that will kind of explain my views on an upcoming BioShock game. So, it's going to be more of a direct sequel to BioShock 1 and 2, although there will be references to BioShock Infinite. At least, and I'm going to throw this out there. If you are currently making this game, there were rumors that they were a few months ago. There was rumors that a company had acquired the rights and they were in the preliminary stages of development. So if you're a member of that team and you somehow see this, yeah, let me know. Yeah, let me know if you want details or want to use any of my ideas. And you know what? I would just be so pumped for it. Fire bad. I love this opening. It looks like you have so many choices, but really the fire guides you straight to the lighthouse. Wonderful visual of that. So anyway, the way I see it, it would take place in, I would call it BioShock, just as a working title, Cold War. And it would take place right at the peak of the Cold War. Specifically, it would be 1972, early part of the year, January or February. Historically speaking, that date is very important, as in, I want to say April of that year, the then President Richard Nixon opened up peace negotiations with Russia. And so this is going to be kind of the height of the Cold War. Well, what the peace negotiations did, just a quick history lesson here, was that up until that point, it was thought that war between the United States and Russia was inevitable, and it would inevitably be a nuclear war. At this point, it kind of changed the inevitability to kind of more of a detente, meaning that a war still might happen, but we're talking, and neither side's going to do anything as of now, unless something drastic changes. So, that was a big change in the Cold War, and it was ultimately these peace negotiations which led to the end of the Cold War. So, So we're going to have this take place before the peace negotiations. So it's going to be take place somewhere in Maine, a small town in Maine, and it's going to be snowy and icy and cold, and it's going to take place pretty much in the middle of a blizzard, at least the first parts of it. So you're going to start out as a female character, and the start, I'm leaving it fairly open for interpretation, but it can be a little bit vague. Memories are going to be a little bit shoddy, not all there. So it's going to happen is you're going to get shot and essentially killed right at the beginning. But you're still aware of things. You can still see things. That's where kind of the vagueness will come through. And I thought an interesting thing would be that you'd watch somebody. These are, you don't know who these people are, but they are Americans, and they kill. They shoot you and kill you. They seem to be after something, and they shoot and. I thought Tenenbaum could be there, and they shoot and kill Tenenbaum at this point. So you kind of come to, in a cold storage somewhere, and you see a vision. I thought Eleanor would be a good choice at this point. It just kind of, you start to see her. No one else can see her, but you can see her, and it turns out she's communicating with you through Adam, and she tells you that you were once a little sister in Rapture, that you're in a town that was founded by the people who had survived Rapture in the first 2 BioShocks, and, they had gone there to live. And the basic conflict is going to be that the U.S. government, or shall we say bad agents of the U.S. government, because the U.S. government is pretty darn good no matter what people say, but bad agents of the U.S. government have found out about Adam, are desperately trying to get a hold of it to gain an advantage in the Cold War. And as the story progresses, you'll find that Russian agents have also infiltrated to try to find out about Adam, about all the advantages that came from Rapture. And so that's part of the conflict. So you're told basically you can't die. So it'd be kind of like having the what are they called in this game? Those machines that bring you back to life in this game. So it's going to be kind of like that. So every time you die, you'll kind of collapse and be there, and then some time will pass and you will come back to life. It's going to be virtually impossible to kill you. Now the gameplay, as I see it, you can find Adam. There's bits of Adam floating around this town, and a lot of the agents have gained a hold of it and have been attempting to, duplicate some of the things like Big Daddies and so on from Rapture. And so you can find it, this Adam in people. You initially start using that tool that the Little Sisters use, but as you go on in the first few levels, you eventually manage to get the Big Sister suit. So you're essentially playing as a Big Sister. So you have all the advantages that the Big Sisters in BioShock 2 had. You have the agility, the fast, the jumping. I see a touch, not entirely, but a little bit of Mirror's Edge. I played Catalyst, but not the other one. But Mirror's Edge in this. In your gameplay. So you would have those advantages as you play through. But I see it as it's revealed, as we found out a little bit more about Little Sisters throughout the BioShock games, that basically they had so much Adam circulating through their systems that basically any and all abilities, that's where Big Sisters came from, because they had so much Adam and abilities like that coming through them. So I'd see the gaining of new abilities in this as more as a skill tree, as opposed to actually going out and buying the Adam. And you would, the more Adam you get, the more skills you can unlock, but also that you can actually lock away certain skills and reinvest in others. So say if you needed telekinesis in one level, and you don't need fire, you can not use fire, but then you can get the telekinesis ability, and so on and so forth. And the main reason I want it kind of like this is because it would be so awesome to play as a big sister. Let's be fair. BioShock 2 let us play as Big Daddies, so now we can play as a big sister. So so you're going through there as you escape from kind of the cold storage area that you were put into. You find yourself. It's in the middle of a snowstorm, so there's going to be that claustrophobic, surrounded by water, but this time snow feel to it. And as you go through the city, you're going to discover that a lot of the city is underground and closed off because while they liked the outdoors and the sunlight and whatnot, it was also a little overwhelming. So they built, a lot of the city kind of claustrophobic, like Rapture is, so that they would feel better. They'd feel safer in it, in this new city. Help them adjust to it. And yeah, like I said, it's going to be a conflict between the people of Rapture, excuse me, the people of Rapture, the evil agents of the U.S. government, and the evil Nazis, or not Nazis, evil agents of the Russian, the communists, and that you would go about it. And the way I see it, there's going to be all kinds of fun stuff that's going to happen in it as you play through it. Part of it is got him. So as you play it, that you would find certain things that would help you out as you play it, and you find different characters to interact with as you go along. Oh yes, I forgot to mention, when you wake up you have no memory. You don't know who you are. And that's part of the mystery is, wait, why do I have no memory? Is going to be part of the mystery. It's not going to be fully explained by Eleanor. And you're going to wonder, wait, what's Eleanor playing at? Is there more going on than what's going on with Eleanor? Or than what Eleanor's directly telling us. There's going to be kind of that sense of, you wonder what's going on. But you also encounter characters from both games as you play through. I imagine a version of both Booker and Elizabeth being in this version of Rapture. There's, of course, is his name Jack? I believe his name's actually Jack, although I can't remember. But yeah, the main character in the original BioShock will be in it. Having saved the kids. Characters and people like that throughout the entire game. It's going to kind of be presumed that the good endings of both games are going to be the canonical endings. That'll just make it easier for the gameplay. So that's where you're kind of at with it. But what I thought would be interesting... this is something you discover in BioShock 2, but the Little Sisters can actually... You know how you see ghosts in BioShock 1? In BioShock 2, we discovered Little Sisters can see the memories more directly. The ghosts in this BioShock game, for those of you who don't remember, are basically results of memory being transferred through the atom that has gone through other people. And Little Sisters could see memories much more directly. So when you find Adam, either in a person, it depends on the Adam and the person. It's not going to be for every time you find Adam, but it will when you get Adam, and you can get Adam. You have that needle. You can actually get Adam directly out of people, even before they're unconscious or dead. You could actually drain the Adam, and that would knock them out. So I think that would add to stealth abilities. But then you could hear their memories. You could hear what they're saying, and in certain, story important things, or even just, side story important things, you would actually see their memories played out, kind of like you do in there's a level in BioShock 2 where that happens. I think I'll leave it there. That's just the general idea and the general storyline. I thought as the story progressed, we could do a couple of other things. Maybe actually have it become a race to Rapture at the end and facing the different agents. Also, I would make it quite different, but I would bring back the moral choices in it, and that would determine what sort of ending you get. Because that was one of my favorite parts of the first two BioShocks, and they completely took it out of BioShock Infinite. There's actually one. there was I think it was a comedian talking about the moral choice in BioShock Infinite, where you have a choice of either throwing the baseball at a black man who's all tied up, or at the person, the the guy encouraging you to throw it. I forget what he's called. He's like a ringmaster or somebody who hands you the ball. You can make that choice, but it also ultimately doesn't matter what choice you make, because before you can throw the ball, somebody grabs you, and that happens regardless of what choice you make. So somebody was making a joke about it. It's like, the only advantage to doing that, the only thing about this is to make you feel like a real jerk if you chose to throw it at the black guy. So it's a really funny thing. Regardless, those are my ideas for the new Rapture game. That's just a basic look. I don't want to give any story spoilers in case anybody actually wants to use it. Regardless, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.